Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and tonight I have the extreme pleasure of having a colleague from across the pond, not across the pond, but across the country, out of California, Jen DeLeon. She is a media maven. She is the content director for Dash Radio. She's a producer. She's booked talent. I need to book Lil Wayne. And she's also, been covered in Cheddar, Billboard, Hot New Hip Hop, Bloomberg, Vibe, Sway's Universe. Now that's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I love it. And as a producer, you can find her on imdb.com. So she might be diminutive in stature, but she's a giant in the industry. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me again. I'm really excited to talk to you. I really enjoyed our first conversation, and I know this one will be even better now that we know each other.
Hey, this one's going to be fun because I think we can, you already let your hair down. I'm letting my hair grow out. We finna let them have it tonight. I'm gonna have it tonight. Our biggest, most important do's and don'ts. Let's start with some don'ts. Now, you get pictures from everybody they cat, uncle, and dog. I get pictures from everybody they cat, uncle, and dog. Everybody wants us to play their shit. I'm sick of that pitch. My most important thing is to get personal and get to know the person that you're pitching and deliver an intelligible pitch. In my DMs, and I know this has got to be for you. Hey, what can I do for promo? And that's the whole message.
Sometimes you get just, hey, or like, what's up? And that's it. I don't even read my DMs, like the DM requests, I barely do.
Oh, man. The hays are a setup because it's usually some damn, what you call it, Bitcoin miner, Forex investor, or nonsense like that. Or it's one of them damn XXX sites that want you to go on and Google. I have a wife. I get to Google as much as I want to Google. I don't need Instagram for that. So that's one of the real big things that pisses me off. And I get about 200 pitches a day. So it's difficult to wade through all of that. Subject line's got to be clear and concise. How about you? How many pitches do you get a day?
Oh, I a lot. I get a lot. My notifications are off as far as for the email end. And I'm like, I keep telling myself I have to go through my emails. And I don't go through my emails. So I get a lot. I don't know if I wouldn't say 200 because at least like you're an editor-in-chief, so you're definitely going to get a lot. But as far as how many emails per day, like I would say close to anywhere from like 75 to 100 per day. And then it just floods and floods and floods. So what you brought up a very clear subject line. So what else catches your attention where you're like, okay, you know what, this one, I'm actually going to read the rest of the email and maybe even respond.
The first 40 words of the pitch.
First 40 words? Okay.
First 40 words of the pitch. I want the who, what, when, where, why in like the first paragraph. Get it over, get it done with. You don't know me, so you don't have to ask about my family and how the weather is, and I don't want to hear about your cat. I just want to get to the point. You know what I mean? That's what catches my attention. If I make it past the first 40 words, then I might make it through the second half, and you might actually get a post. So
that's good. So there's one thing where it's like I might be nitpicking, but I cannot stand terrible grammar. When I see a pitch or like, it drives me crazy. I don't know if it's because I went to school for journalism. So I get really annoyed if it's like just off, like even a little bit. It could be missing an apostrophe or like so many spelling errors or just like one long sentence instead of like breaking it up. So it's like, that's a pet peeve of mine in pitches where I'm like, this isn't even a professional pitch. And
right. I agree with you. And there are a lot of people calling themselves PRs or publicists out there that just because you could buy a post somewhere doesn't make you a publicist.
I hate that it's now because, I started with I started before like Hot New Hip Hop, but Hot New Hip Hop was really the first outlet that I worked for. And it was, so much credibility and so much, and I'm not saying Hot New Hip Hop does this at all, but in general, what I've noticed with different outlets now is there's so much pay per post. Like Hot New Hip Hop definitely doesn't do that, but I'm just noticing everyone's pitching like, oh, I can get you on whatever blog it is for $500. And I'm like, damn, so now it's not even credible anymore as far as like, well, if I can just pay you $500 to post about somebody, then it's what's going to make me want to read on that publication if I know it's all pay per post. So I really am disappointed in where the culture has gone, because being on those blogs before was so exclusive, where it was like you can't get in there unless you're actually talented. And now it's like, well, if you have the money for it, you can probably find a way on there, which sucks.
You know, but now I think the change came because it's now online media. Online media is now the tier 1 media, as opposed to trying to get into Rolling Stone, Forbes. Well, Forbes just now getting into the entertainment sector. They just decided, and Yahoo did their first freaking digital magazine last week. Yeah. They did their first digital. Oh, wow. I was like, so now having a digital magazine is cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. When we started doing digital magazines in like 2004, the Hype magazine, we were like one of the first to ever do a digital magazine. We changed the game for e-zines and webzines, right? Yeah. Now it's cool. So you got Yahoo and Forbes, GQ did it, and then Time did a digital. I'm going, are you kidding me? So the digital age has made it to the point where, everybody is scrambling to have access to these different sites, and that these sites have value, and everybody's trying to get verification, and you need XYZ links to get verified and whatnot. And press releases don't count. You need notability for your Wikipedia page and your Google Knowledge page, and people have to pay these bills. You know what I mean? You got to pay the server bill because nobody's in print anymore. So your server bill is like $2,000 a month if you're a decent sized outlet. Somebody's got to pay those bills. You can't give it away for free. Unfortunately, it's a reality. It's a reality. When they put pay points in for us to just view news, you know that they were making money.
When they paid for.
Yeah, when they put pay points, like when you used to be able to read the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg News for free. Right? Now you get like 2 articles for free, and then you got to pay for the subscription, because advertisers are not buying online as much as they used to.
I was trying to read an article, I think it was on New York Times. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, not right. So then I just X'd out of it and then went to go search again.
Yeah. So they're losing advertisers. Online portals are losing advertisers. Yeah. Advertisers don't see the value for some reason, because there's so many out there. And if they could get something for 20 cents on the dollar, as opposed to paying $1,500 for a banner ad.
Yeah. So, no, and I completely, I get it too, where it's like, and it is also about the hustle. It's just, now it feels like I don't know how to explain it, where it's not as exciting as it was before, where it's like, because it is, if you can get it, it's like, that's great, but then it's not as exclusive. But that's the thing, it's like I've seen a lot, but then I also know like the friends that I have at these different outlets, like I know there's certain ones that they don't associate themselves with it, but I do understand the hustle of like freelance. So I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying it's so different now with how much it's changed, that it's like, even when I get pitches, sometimes I do look at a pitch as like, how did you get this press? Because no offense, it wasn't that good. Like, as far, you know what I mean?
It was a garbage article.
Yeah, so the article, and then also if it's the music, where it's like, so then it's also a bad look, where it's like, okay, that makes me not want to more, because I know it was more of a paid thing versus, okay, you're actually getting like the buzz. But again, I get it, because you need the media, but it's just more, it's more obvious now than it was before. At least before it was subtle, where it was like you didn't really know, because they were still picky at least with who they would accept payment from. But now I feel like anything is accepted at some of the places.
I've seen advertisement sheets on Instagram. I could get you XYZ. I don't really want to call out any names, outlets, but I could get you this outlet, this outlet, this outlet, this outlet, this outlet, this outlet. And they're charging like $2,500 for a package of 10 placements.
A lot. I've seen it too. I have so many emails of it where I'm like, so that's what made me sad. I'm like, damn, like even the most credible of the credible, which I'm sure we've seen the same list, the most credible, I'm like, you could really get on there if you drop $10,000. And again, I get it. It's a good look, but it's just like, damn. So it's all just a business now.
Yeah. I got a reseller who sent me a spreadsheet.
Yep.
Who sent me a whole spreadsheet with like 1,000 outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about, whoa, serious outlets. You mean you could get me that?
And that's how when I saw the sheet, I'm like, there's no way. Because they're so big that they don't need the money. That's why I was like, well,
it's the writers that are getting paid and the editors that are getting paid.
And then they probably don't even know, like the actual companies probably don't know that there is that. So it's like, it's sad. And that's the thing. It's like, even now, like I'm verified on everything but Instagram, but because I didn't have the press, but even when I was thinking about it, like what the press is, I remember like one other saying like, there's certain outlets that they're on the no, it's like a red flag, even though it's a credible outlet, because they know people are paying. So it's like, it's kind of like you have to be careful with which ones you're going to, because Instagram is already aware of who's the one who's charging. So it's like, it's such a mess.
So if you're going to pay, make sure your writer at least changes up your damn article.
Yeah.
So it's not the same article on 10 or 12 different sites.
Yeah. Find someone who's actually interested in writing about you. Right. If it's going to be that, but
I agree.
Yeah, definitely not copy and paste. Oh, that's the other thing with pitches. One of my don'ts is if you're going to send a pitch, don't copy and paste the pitch that you sent to 10 other people, because then it doesn't feel personal.
Right.
And it just feels like you were just mass emailing people, which again, I get the hustle, but if you really want to stick out, look up the person that you're reaching out to and make it more personal so they don't feel like you were just copying and pasting, because that's something too where I'll just ignore it.
Yeah, I can't stand the e-blasts.
Yeah. And when you can't unsubscribe, I fucking hate that. Like, make sure you can unsubscribe, because if not, you're just getting blocked and like reported as spam.
Yeah, like no shade on MailChimp. It's a great tool.
Yeah.
But I get so many from reputable PR agencies who are just sending out things on their distro list. And it doesn't even say, they address the shit to themselves. It doesn't say, hey, Jerry. It just says, it's from Chris to Chris. So you know that you're, and at the bottom, you look at his MailChimp. Don't send me e-blasts. I don't want to send, because I really get pissed off. And I subscribe to certain things like PR Newswire for journalists, EIN for journalists. I want to get those press releases. I don't want to get your e-blast to 10,000 people, which of course the publicists are making money on as well, because they have 15,000. And lastly, for me at this moment, don't put my fucking email in an open damn mailing list.
Oh yeah, where it's all CC'd. That's the worst. And then I don't know why people respond to those to everybody. But it's like, why are you doing that? Because now I just got 2 emails and now it's out there. Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, some knucklehead will hit reply all for godforsaken reason.
Yep.
And I can't lie though. I have opened up that CC list and copied every freaking email and put it in a spreadsheet.
I definitely copy all those emails.
Yeah. And
I'm mad I get it, but if it's a good list, because sometimes you get copied in bullshit things, but then the other ones, I'm like, oh, these are good emails.
Oh man, one of them was so rich. I mean, I had Hip Hop DX, Forbes magazine, GQ, Vanity Fair. I'm like, I'm definitely saying hello.
That is hilarious.
You know what I mean? And then, for me, one of the greatest things about it is that I get to interview other journalists.
Yeah.
I've been kind of making a point of that, especially our ladies, because the lady journalists don't get as much shine as the guys. Chuck at All Hip Hop, he'll do a couple of interviews. Grouchy Greg will do a couple of interviews. You know what I mean? But I've been trying to get to Kyle Eustace, right? From Hip Hop DX. She's in Denver. She's right up the road from me. I'm like, I'm going to get her. I'm doing an interview this Friday with like Swaggy C from Hip Hop.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, man, I've been following her, and I was going to email her today, and her publicist emails me and says, hey, would you consider doing? I was getting ready to DM her because we actually follow each other. I was getting ready to DM her on Instagram and see if I could set up an interview. I'm like, nice. Okay, it's definitely meant to be somebody I respect. So
you should interview Rose from Hunting Hip Hop. So she's the editor-in-chief over there. She's really great.
I'd love to make the connect.
Yeah, she's really great.
Make the connect. I would definitely.
She gets a million emails. I know that much, but Rose is great. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I knew hip hop is a big. I wonder, what their inbox looks like and what kind of garbage pitches they get.
Rose gets so many emails that sometimes even like if I only email her every once in a while for stuff, but sometimes even when I email her, sometimes she'll miss it and say sorry because she gets that many. Like she gets a lot. She probably gets the most out of anyone.
Yeah. I thought my 200 were bad. I was like, I can only imagine because I knew hip hop is amazing. Trent from Hip Hop DX doesn't answer he doesn't answer text messages or emails. I'm like, why did you give me your number? What was the purpose? It doesn't matter.
When you go through do you go through every single one of your emails every day, or like how many do you actually get through in a day, or what's your process?
I actually get to about 30 or 40 a day.
30 to 40, okay.
Yeah. So, a lot of it is just news releases for like our happenings. Like I get this new shows from Steve Harvey and Nick Cannon every week. So those are my weekly pickups.
Okay.
And then Becky G, she's on Facebook Watch. She's a dope Latina host. She's amazing. And every time I post her podcast episodes, I get like 2,000 or 3,000 views and retweets just on that post. I'm going, my social media blows up behind Becky G. So I really skim. Like I look for people that I know, companies that I know that we've been dealing with for years. And then I look for the subject line to make sense. And then if I have time, I'll open up and read the first paragraph. After that, I'm done. That's my process. What's your process?
My process is the subject line.
Okay. I
won't even open it if the subject line isn't catchy, unless it's like you catch me on a good day and I'm like, oh, I'm really going to go through my emails. It's so bad because I found myself like if I find, like you said, the people, well, you can tell it's copy and paste or with a certain company. So once I see one where it's very spammy, I'll type that person's email in my inbox and then delete anything that came from, just because I know it's copy and paste. And then I'm like, oh, now my inbox is like less, but I'll look for the subject line. And then from the subject line, I'll read through it, but I know within, the first, the first few sentences, if I'm interested. If it's too long, I won't read that. If it's like super, super long. So then from there, I figure it out, like if I'm going to move forward or not. Okay.
You do a lot of live events and red carpet stuff. Yeah. What's your pet peeve about being approached when you're out?
I actually don't do red carpets anymore. I stopped doing that. I don't know when, because with red carpets, it's because there's so much going on. So I did red carpets when I was first starting, but then after that, I realized I don't have the patience for it because it's like everyone fights. Like if somebody's coming, so there's whether they're pushing each other, and I'm too small for that shit. So it's like pushing each other and then having to pitch, but in the past though, if somebody did pitch and it was on the carpet, I feel awkward saying no. So like I would just do it and it would be generic. And then just depending on how the final piece turned out, it would either go in or it wouldn't. But I figured it's nicer and a better look to just, shoot something if there is the time to do it and then do it. But I try to avoid red carpets just because of the chaos for it.
I'm 6'2", 231 pounds. I hold my own, but I think what pisses me off is that the other outlets are scrambling so hard to get that shot, to get someone's attention to speak to them or whatever.
Yeah.
They walk in front of your camera, block your shot.
Yeah.
You have to elbow. I've been elbowed by ladies, like elbowed in my ribs. I'm like, I'm on my spot. Do you see my placard right there? Yep. Okay. I have to move for you? No.
That's a lot.
It's crazy. But then I also get irritated when they put the minority outlets and the smaller outlets like towards the end of the carpet. They put all the big guys, CBS and all that, towards the front. So by the time they even get down to the outlets that represent their base, they don't stop.
And they're tired already.
They're tired already, and they don't want to answer any inane questions from, I think the smartest thing that people have been doing is putting kid journalists on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Not for those cute ass kids. And you feed them good questions. But
red carpets, definitely.
That's one of my I hate dealing with that part.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do stop on the red carpet, pay attention to the journalists that you're talking to.
Yep.
And not, hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. You're going to see them inside. The journalist is not going to be able to go inside. They don't have tickets. Yeah. So go socialize elsewhere. Take care of your business.
Exactly.
I think that one of the biggest things that came up for me in 2021 was the virtual press junket.
Mm-hmm.
Those are drawn out. It's oftentimes boring.
Yeah.
And you don't get your footage.
Yeah.
Or you get an entire 4 hours worth of footage and you have to search for your piece and edit it out. But they want it in 24 hours.
Yeah.
After they delivered it to you.
For my virtual press junket, I actually only did one, and it was recently. That was a good experience, thankfully, but I didn't know what to expect when I first did it. So I didn't know that when you first get on that the press
moderator.
The press company is going to introduce you first to the person. So I immediately, when the camera turned on, so it was with Lupita Nyong'o for the 355.
Oh yeah, that's a good interview though.
Yeah, so she's on there. As soon as she appears, I'm like, hi Lupita. And it was the most I was like, oh shit. Then the PR company, you hear them in the background like, hey Lupita, this is Jen. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, had no idea that there was intro, and I probably shouldn't have screamed like when I first got on camera. So I learned that. So don't say anything in a press junket until they basically give you the green light.
Right.
I don't even think she heard me.
It was a good segment. I watched that one.
Yeah, I'm
I watched what you posted anyway. I was like, okay, that was good.
Thank you.
I got a pitch for her and I accepted it. And I think this is one of my pet peeves. If you pitch me and I accept it, don't question me about what the hell I'm going to interview about. I'm going to interview about your pitch.
Yeah.
Can you send over questions? Didn't you just send me talking points?
Yeah, exactly.
This is our 20th anniversary. In June, we'll be 20 years, officially 20 years old.
Wow.
And we're doing a special edition for print edition for retail stores. That'll hit stores in June. And I've been pitching people, just sending out my graphic and saying, hey, some of the impact covers that we've done, I want to reconnect. And I think I've explained myself pretty good. I just want to reconnect with the, I'm not going to mention the artist's name, but his publicist. And he was one of our impact covers you're in print, like we're on the stand next to Rolling Stone, whatever. Had a long-standing relationship with this publicist. I just explained 20 years, want to reconnect because this artist just basically announced their final album that they're just going to do business. You know what I'm talking about. So, and this guy sends me back a question. Well, what do you want to interview him about? I just told you.
Yeah, that's album.
I feel stupid. What can I do better? What can I do better? I don't know. At my age, I think I have no patience. So I am.
It's either.
What's your thought about this? Don't send me butt naked pictures of your artist if you're trying to get an interview for them to be a singer.
What did they say? It cut out. You said pictures of what?
They send me butt naked pictures of an artist, not butt naked, but damn near.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, for an interview about an R&B song.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible because that's what I'm saying. It's like that's kind of giving away that your artist doesn't have the talent if you have to sell off of looks. Like I understand, pitching, the look of it too, but when you're making it all about that, it's very obvious that this artist probably does not have talent.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm just like, and I understand that there are, some big stars out there that part of their stardom is doing that. But they also have talent. But they had to, and that I understand that maybe they had to do something to break out and get somebody's attention for their talent to stand out. But everybody can't do the same thing.
Exactly.
And if you have bullet holes, I don't want to see that shit.
Yep.
I don't mind you being natural. Just put some clothes on, sell me with your voice, tell me that you got, show me that you got some nuances and some soul, and I'm good. Am I too old? Am I too old for this job?
No, you're not too old, but you're experienced in this job. So you know what to look for and the red flags and the do's and don'ts of it for pitches. Especially when you get 400 pitches a day, you kind of just know which one's going to work and which one's not.
What was your biggest turnoff for 2021? Your single most?
Ooh, the biggest within the music industry?
Within the media industry, period. Because you do more than music, so.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so much in the entertainment industry. What did I hate the most? So I think, I mean, it's just like what, social media has become, but one of the things that I don't like about it, and I really noticed in 2021, is that the quality has just gone to hell. And there's pros and cons to it. Like the pros is you don't have to spend that much time shooting content and having a nice camera or a nice background or, putting more time into it. And you can just literally pick up your phone and shoot it. But that's just not what I grew up around. And that's just not what I enjoy doing. So, now that like TikTok and all this stuff has come in, now I feel that content is more flooded. So it's harder to stick out. And now what people enjoy more, the low quality, like that's just what works. So it's just I feel like content now has a different meaning behind it and lower expectations, which again, can be a good thing because you can just knock out content right away. But I don't like it because now it's like everybody is a content creator. Yeah. But there was actually people who really enjoyed creating content.
Yeah, I would like to see a return to like long form content as opposed to those snackable pieces.
Me too. So, I read an article that said the average person's attention span is now 8 seconds. And I was like, that's bad.
That long? It's that long? I thought it was less than that. I thought it
probably is. I don't even know what article. It was whatever article that didn't require me to pay to subscribe to read it. So it said that. It's 8
seconds. I signed up for like the New York Times. So I get the New York Times digest.
Oh, okay.
And so I go through and it's just little tidbits and stuff. But if I want to see the long form article, I got to pay, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna just say it. You know, you can get a New York Times article and a New York Post article now for like $500.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on the spreadsheet.
I was like, okay, all right. So I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did. I just exposed them. Damn it! But they're dipping into our water. You know, I'm sorry. They're stealing our culture, and covering topics that don't belong to them. Damn it! Hip hop does not belong to the Wall Street Journal. It doesn't belong to Forbes magazine. You were business magazines.
Yeah.
Go away. Get out of our. Go away. Go away. Get out of our business. I think that's my 2021 year biggest pissed me off situation is competing with GQ, Forbes, Time, Wall Street Journal, and now freaking Yahoo.
Yeah, the Yahoo one threw me off. I didn't know.
That drove me nuts. Yahoo drops its first digital cover. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Cover or like, what was it?
Don't make me look up. Hold on, now I gotta fire up the other computer, put my glasses on. It was. Come on. Google search Yahoo Digital. Yahoo Digital magazine. Yeah. Damn it. Okay. So Yahoo does its first digital. Yahoo does first digital magazine. Yahoo.com. First, my domain launches its first ever digital magazine on Yahoo. There we go. That was 2015. Now you're making me go to social media because I literally. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Yahoo Digital Magazine.
Either way, I'm thrown off because it was, like you said, it's Yahoo.
Yeah. Yahoo Digital cover. There we go. Chloe Bailey featured on the January digital issue of In the Know by Yahoo.
Got it.
Here it is.
So it is music.
Yep.
Articulated.
It is music. So what? I can do it in the chat. I can put you where's the chat?
So you have to hover over the bottom. It pops up.
Okay. There it is. Chat. There's the link.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's see.
Yeah. They are interlopers into our realm.
Yeah.
It really, and this is in my inbox actually. So Yahoo reaches out to me to promote their digital cover on Hype.
Yeah.
But you know what? I get them from GQ. I get it from Vanity Fair.
All of them.
All of them. Send me their stuff. This is the new Time magazine, for God's sake. This is the new cover. And we want to promote this on Hype magazine. Yeah. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Thank you for making me feel important.
Yeah.
But piss off for getting into our business. This is our realm. And, I think the same way that the mainstream labels started snatching up hip hop artists, Latin artists, reggaeton artists, things like that, and kind of diluting the culture and determining what the culture was to become.
Mm-hmm.
and we lost control. We lost ownership.
Yeah.
Same way when jazz, when jazz was created, when these guys came back from overseas and the American, Blue Note started doing jazz and controlling the flavor of jazz and who could get in.
Yeah.
Like those things piss me off. I'm old. My nickname is Grumpy Grampy. Grumpy Grampy. Because a lot of things just irritate me. And I always want to know if I'm being overly sensitive at my age or overly protective of the culture.
Yeah.
So
protective of the culture, but that's a good thing because it's like you've just been in the culture for so long and it's diluted now and it's just so different now. And it's really sad. It's really sad. It's just not the same as what it was before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know where we're going to go, but I think, like I said in my last live session, it's like such a pleasure to meet people like you and who are so dynamic and also protective, and not willing to betray the culture for, some clicks or some money. You stay true and you do a lot of things, So what are we going to go back to the classes? So now we're done with the pet peeves and we're moving on to what Jen has going on because she's amazing. Are you going to bring classes back?
So I had told you I was going to be a little late today for the interview for a very good reason. When is this article going up or this video going up?
I probably edit it later on tonight. I got to do speech. I got a great one from speech from Arrested Development.
Okay.
So you're after him.
So I can share something with you that I'm actually not. It's fine if you drop it anyway. I'll probably just wait. I'll probably just pull different snippets from this video to put on socials and not what I'm going to tell you because technically I'm not officially starting until it's in February.
Okay. That's tomorrow.
Huh?
That's tomorrow, February.
Well, like a little later, not like February 1st. Like, yeah, but so I'm actually moving on to the next chapter, and I will not be with Dash. Still will always be family. Me and Ski are even still working together on, some stuff going on. We have like 2 projects going on right now, but it has nothing to do with Dash. And because I'm actually moving on to another company, and the company and how this all came about is very fucking exciting because I feel like it was created by God, like this opportunity, because it still, to me, it doesn't make sense. But that's why I was late because I had to discuss that with them. But like now it's official and I've accepted the offer and it's happening. And I went to go take my like last picture at Dash for like Instagram, but I'm not posting it for probably another week from now. So I'm actually working for Warner Music Group as their Twitch host. So Warner Music Group is the first record label Twitch signed a partnership with. So they're launching a music channel, but yes, I'm going to be the host for the new channel that they'll be doing. So
so proud for you.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'm like ready to get back on camera.
So is this an exclusive thing? Will you still be doing like the podcast one thing or?
No. So the podcast one thing was just for Meta World Peace. It was just a contract. So for 10 episodes. So yes, it'll be exclusively with Warner. Right now, I am able to still do my, that was one of the things we discussed. So I am still able to do my YouTube and my content on Instagram. So that's great. But my priority is going to be, this show with Twitch. So then I just have to find my balance for my other content, whether it's, inspirational or vlog. So yeah, it was just like a lot of back and forth, but it's like, it's all set now. So.
Okay. So your main responsibility is going to be as a host for the show for Warner. Yes. Man. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and it's a dream come true, honestly, because I'm very grateful for every other, position that I've had, but everyone who knows me knows being on camera is my passion and what I enjoy doing the most. It's what I'm the best at. And so to be able to do that at a record label, like who would have ever thought a record label was looking for a host? And and that's the thing. It's like, and Twitch is so big now. Yeah. And Twitch signed a partnership exclusively with Warner. So to be the face of that is like, I'm like, this is fucking huge. I still haven't fully processed it because it's like I went from that and then now I'm doing that and now I'm doing our interview and I'm like, oh, I'm still like, what's going on? So,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Like,
yeah.
It's such a unique, like, it doesn't, I'm telling you, like, I've been in the music industry for 12 years and never have I ever had a thought of I'm going to work for a record, ever. Never even crossed my mind because it's like, what would I do at a record label? Like, I'd be capable of doing something at a record label, like on the business side, I would think, but I'm like, but to have the opportunity as a live streaming host, I'm like, and it's Warner, like, so it's like.
So will they be concentrating mostly on the roster of Warner Records? Or
no, so that was one of the things too. So I thought it was going to be exclusive to just Warner, but it's not. So Twitch signed this partnership so they could do music programming and original content, but it's going to be all like artists, but it's just Twitch and Warner are behind like this show. And then
hey y'all, that's another sync licensing opportunity.
That's a what?
It's another sync licensing opportunity.
Yeah.
Get your music on the Warner show on Twitch. Wow. Twitch is amazing. You know, I have not checked it out as much as I should, obviously.
Yeah.
I have shows on a couple of little platforms. The newest one is called Call In, which I really like. I do the Hype 16 on that platform. And you know, the one thing about it is they take really good care of their creators. So I've been amazed. I've been blessed. You know, trying to build that out. They're new, but this thing with you and Warner, man,
I'm very like I can't believe it still where I'm like, so that's why I was like, oh, so yeah, I think we're supposed to go live. It's at some point in February. I don't have the exact date and also can't even really say it yet, but I just know it's February, but it's just like, it's so much to hold in where I'm like, holy shit, like this is it. I remember even when I was talking to them about it and they're like, you know, why do you think like you would be the best out of all the hosts we're interviewing for this? And I'm like, look, not to sound cliche or corny, but I really do feel that this was meant for me. Like I know everything about the music industry from on camera to behind the scenes. You know, I have the relationships, I have the experience like on camera, and it's like what even they're looking for, like it's not going to be just a music focus. Like they were looking for somebody with personality and can bring out, you know, like fun and, you know, kill that time for a whole show. And I'm like, it's a perfect fit. Like if you watch my reel, like that's all my reel is. And I'm like, I really just want to get back being on camera. So like, I'm very excited. Or I'm like,
they really got blessed with you. They really got blessed with you. You bring so much to the table.
I'm really excited.
That determination and intestinal fortitude to make it. I mean, like just to drop in, I'm just pulling this from memory, but to drop into LA at like 21 with nothing real plan and you know, no plan at all, except for not to fail. There was no plan B. You know, I'm not freaking going home to, you know, and landing what was Hot New Hip Hop was the first, right?
Yes.
And then you know you got Cheddar, then you did Hip Hop DX, was it?
I did stuff for Hip Hop DX as well.
Hip Hop DX as well. And then you know to get with Ski TV and then Dash Radio, just the fight to climb the ladder and the ability to stay clear and focused when the maze got really crazy and to be able to straighten out the maze and find your path through there. And you've had some great benchmarks in your career thus far. So I know that it would be amazing. So now I got to subscribe to Twitch and look for your show. And just, I'm going to be a fan. And I'm going to support as best I can. And tell the PR team to send me the damn advance.
Yep. So that's I'm like I said, I still haven't even fully wrapped my head around it. Like I'm like, this is a real thing. Like it's an actual, like it's happening. And I'm like, yeah. So
are there any other record labels with shows like that, or is Warner's breaking ground, right?
Like literally, if you Google Warner and Twitch right now on Google, it's everyone reported it in September. Like Warner signs one of a kind deal with Twitch, and Warner's the first record label.
I didn't get that press release.
Yeah.
If I did, I missed it. And I think I get a lot of shit from Warner.
They're probably going to send another thing because this was a while ago when they announced the partnership. So I think that now that it's actually coming together now, another like press release will go out. So it's funny. It's like I'm trying to get all my shit in order, like as far as like, oh, there's so much content I haven't posted. So you brought up, podcast one. It's like I haven't posted a lot of shit I did in 2021 because I was so busy. So now I'm like, oh, I gotta cut that up tonight and get all of that out there so that after that it's all focused on Warner and Twitch. And it's just so like when I tell you the timing, the circumstances, the process of everything, like it's fucking insane. Like I'm like, wow, I'm like this actually like wow. And that's how I know, the process of it, like that's how I know that God literally created this for me, because there's no other answer like for it. Like that does not happen ever. So.
What was like the timeline? How long did it take from, the show, you're showing interest to actually closing the deal?
2.5 months.
2.5 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a lot. It was a lot. And that's what I'm saying. It's just, it's great. It was a long process, and just the other factors that went into it. Like I'm telling you, no one can tell me shit. Like God created that opportunity for me. Like it was really meant for me. So I'm really excited to be back on camera, like especially consistently. Like I've learned so much on the business end, but if I'm being honest, the last 4 to 5 years, I split my time between the business end and being on camera. And then being on the business end took priority over being on camera, but being on camera is like what I'm the best and what I enjoy doing. So I let that take the back seat. And then I hit a point last year where I just knew, I'm like, that's where I want to be. Like, I'm not happy doing this. I want to be back on camera. So now it's like, I feel like my new year starts in February.
Okay. Well,
this is all a process.
Okay. I've hit points, as a journalist, of course, I have a whole different path. I started while I was still in the military. I was in Afghanistan writing music pieces while I wasn't out on mission. So, and I started with the citizen journalism space.
Okay.
But I've had those blah moments where I just felt dead in the water as a journalist. Like, when certain networks weren't moving forward or were too restrictive, and it took all the energy out of me. And I got to the point where my dad said, if you hate to turn the key in the car to go to work, it's not the place or the career for you.
Wow.
And that I was to that point, until I found the Hype magazine. The Hype magazine is my Warner. For me, I'm like, wow, I'm out of the military. I'm not doing that job anymore. Nobody's shooting at me. I'm great. Nobody's telling me what I can write.
Not funny, because that's fucking not funny at all. But the fact that that's really what your thought process was, like, usually when people talk about, oh, like no more drama in my life, I'm happy. You said nobody's shooting at me.
Well,
that's extreme.
There's no bombs going off, no IEDs, no rockets, no machine gun fire. I'm not having to face, and do my thing. You know what I mean? I don't have to do that thing anymore. It was a drastic change, you know what I mean? And writing kind of saved my life, basically. Kept me from eating a bullet, I'll be honest. So I was like, dude, the hype saved my life. So this has been like the most exciting part. The growing the magazine, hitting 20 years, like I said.
20 years is a long time.
Yeah, I've only been here since 2012, so that's 10 years for me. Right? Yeah, it's like 10 years for me.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, I don't even know what day or
yeah,
anything. I don't know.
the days run together. It blends, but it gives you something to focus on. And I love what I do. So I think that's what makes it most rewarding, is that having the ability to let people tell their stories in an authentic voice. Will you have that kind of control? I mean, as a gatekeeper for this, or will they be feeding you subject matter, or will you be helping to develop subject matter?
Oh, for this role?
Yeah, with Warner.
So they actually, again, it's all still new, so we haven't talked, but they told me, throughout this process, they really enjoyed the input I gave them as far as like, my ideas for it, or like how I envision the show. Like I even did one of the things I had to do was like a segment, like a fake Twitch segment of what I was going to do. And I made that look like a Twitch segment and what I tied into there. So it's like, I'm excited because there's going to be, it's so new for everybody. So I'm excited to help like build something from scratch and see where it goes. But it's like, I only know it's going to go positive. Like
Man, we're going to have another Oprah.
Yeah. And it's like, what's crazy is, talking to the team, it felt like I had known them forever. Like everyone was so great. It was like I was talking to friends rather than being interviewed for a job. Like it was all of me. So I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, it is, like I said, all I knew the past 4 years was Dash. Like as my, so it's a transition. It's gonna be exciting. So it's like I don't know what to expect. I know it's going to be great, but I know it's going to be such a new experience. Like so I'm excited.
Wow. We got a piece of exclusive early content from Miss Jen DeLeon.
Yeah, I already have my plans for how I'm going to post on social media. So first I have to get all this stuff Dash related that I didn't put up from last year. Then I'm gonna post my Dash picture like in the studio, and it's like a recap of like all of like the best moments the last 4 years, which was really hard to pick on my phone because there was so many. And then from there probably shoot a little like video announcement type thing. But that's the thing, I know no one's going to expect that. Like I know when I post the Dash thing and I say like I can't wait to tell you where you're going to see me next, nobody's gonna fucking think anything with a record label. There's no way. Like, would you have thought that? Like a record label and as a host? No.
I had no idea what you were talking about when you said, I promise you it's going to be worth it. I'm going to be a little late, but I'm like, what's going on? I want to know what's going on.
So I had to take a call today. I didn't know it was today. And it was just like, I was like, oh, I got to process like all of this.
Wow.
So wow. So you're the first one to hear about it because it's literally, I didn't even have time to process or like call or like tell anyone because it went straight into call paperwork. Like,
can you tell me the name of the show? What the title of the show is? You don't even know yet.
I don't even know yet. Like I haven't, like that's how new it is. It's just all I know is I accepted the offer. So
good enough. Hey, Jen DeLeon, or it'll be J DeLeon at Warner Music Group.
Who knows what it is? Warner and Twitch, those are two very big companies too. And I am beyond grateful like that I'm going to be part of that. Like that's fucking huge. So.
But it's not like you haven't earned it. You know what I mean? You've worked hard. You've earned your stripes. You know what I mean? And I've never met you I have met you face to face, but I've never met you in person. But knowing your story and reading your background and hearing about the struggles and you sharing the struggles that you shared with me the last time that we spoke, I'm so proud for you that you're getting something that you want and that you have literally earned. And
But you know what's crazy about it? All the jobs that I've had from, from the beginning of Hot New Hip Hop until now, all my jobs, I always got some kind of promotion as far as like, hey, instead of just being a host. So Hot New Hip Hop, for example, I went from correspondent to senior correspondent and communications manager.
Okay.
When I went to ETV, it was correspondent and then production management. Then when I went to Dash, it was, I could, do interviews, but it was talent booking, but then it was chief of staff and then director of content. So it was all like my income, and then even like the side business, I gotta stop calling it like side business. Like that's just my business. Like I do a lot on the music side, but even with the business I do outside of my full-time job is always behind the scenes and something with business and closing a deal, which I love because I still enjoy it. But I've never had a job where I was getting paid literally to just be a host, like never. It's, even Cheddar, that was a contract for 4 months and it was just for that series. So it's like, it's once a week. It's not like a salary and a thing, but it's like, whatever that was isn't going to cover the bills if I only did that. So I've never been in a position where literally my only position is being on camera and being able to be paid for that. So that's why it's such a big deal to me. I'm like, I am getting paid for specifically what I enjoy doing. And that's why I'm so excited, where I'm like, wow, this is fucking wild. Like,
wow. They're so lucky to have you. They're so lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Bring so much value to every conversation that we've had. I appreciate the value that you bring. So I know what they're getting. I don't know the whole depth of what they're getting because, damn it, it's so new. You haven't had a chance to really break out yet. But
technically, until I start, I won't really know, and so I'll find out like in February.
Okay.
All I know is it's going to be great. I just know it's going to be great and I'm going to kill it. Like, I know I am.
Yeah.
They were like, we're looking for someone who can, really like hold a conversation, even if I'm like, I can talk to myself. Like, even if there's nobody watching, I will run that thing for like 2-3 hours. I can do it. Like, I just love talking. So I'm very excited. To be honest, when I first got the email that it was when I first got the email that they were offering me the position, it has just been so much the last like 6 months. Like it's been a lot of shit has happened that I was about to get ready because I knew we were about to have a video call, and as I'm literally about to plug in my curling iron, I just like stopped and cried like hysterically. And I have never cried from like happiness, but it was just a sense of like relief. It was a sense of like, wow, like it's not too late. Because when I found myself in business, I kind of put my passion, like I said, on the back seat, that I was like, maybe I'm just, maybe that time is done and I'm really supposed to focus on just a bit. It's, that's where all my income or most of my income was coming from. And so it was kind of like internally, I felt like I let it go for a little, but I didn't want to. But then I was like, how am I going, like, what is out there where it can pay my bills? I can be, like, what the fuck is it going to be? So I kind of like gave up on it, but not. I think I was just trying to convince myself to give up on it just in case it didn't happen. So then when this actually happened, it was just like, yeah. And then after that, I had to like wipe my face and like do the con. I'm like, I'm so excited, but it was just a very big like milestone for so many reasons that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna kill this, like for sure. I'm going all out like with this one.
Okay. When we before they kick us off of here, when we stop the recording, I got to tell you something because I just want to. I don't want it to be on camera, but I'm excited because I think that some things that you've been wishing for are going to just pop up without having to do anything else. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You just have to.
going to happen for you.
You have to believe. You just have to really believe. And that's one thing I learned. You have to have real faith. Like, it's easy to say like, oh, I believe it'll happen, or I believe I'm good enough. And that's not enough. You can't just say it. You actually wholeheartedly, in your heart, in your gut, in your spirit, every bone in your body, you have to actually believe in that. And then it will come full circle and it will happen. That's the biggest thing I learned from this. It was like, this only happened because I truly believed in all of it and I didn't have any doubts, versus before I still had those doubts. So that's all you have to do. It sounds simple, it sounds stupid, but I'm telling you, that's all you have to do. You just have to actually like believe.
That drops us into like the mental health component, especially
Yep.
for people in the entertainment industry, where so much is so uncertain as to whether you're going to succeed, whether your record is going to pop, whether your film is going to pop, is your show going to pop, are people going to receive your message, and that self-doubt, you know what I mean? And no matter that you're executing and putting in the work, you're really in the trenches and putting the groundwork in, it's not a guarantee that it's going to happen. So a lot of creatives and people who work within the industry, executives, etc., have these struggles constantly with self-doubt and panic attacks and things like that. First time I had a panic attack, I swear to God, I thought I was having a heart attack. But and it wasn't really that. It was over nothing. I was doing a USO show, right? So it was just, I just wanted to, it was my first time ever doing a USO show. I was getting what the hell I wanted, and I was having a panic attack. And I thought I was going to die. So the mental strength that you have to have and being able to reassure yourself, not necessarily depend on outside influences, it's a key to survival in this business.
It really is.
So how did you work your way through? I know you've got some secrets and like you said, you could talk to yourself for an hour and you work it through, but what are your tips?
Well, one of the things was I had to completely isolate myself, where it was like I really needed to deal with things. But everyone has flaws, everyone has traumas, whether they want to admit it or not. But the thing is, when you don't deal with the things that are detrimental to everything else around you, it's just going to keep coming back until you deal with those things. And I don't even need to tell you what those things are. You are the only person who knows what your downfalls are and what you have to work on and what you've been afraid to face. So the first thing is you need to face those things, because it's not going to go away until you face it and you deal with it how you're supposed to deal with it. You can't find a distraction or a temporary solution or run away from it, because the reality is you're not going to be able to run away from it. So first, it was that. Second, I found myself trying to get advice and input from other people. And I'm not saying that that's bad to do. You just have to be very mindful of who you're getting that advice and input from. And also you have to be able to make those decisions, yourself. Like you got to follow like your intuition and your heart, because you're the one who's going to have to live with that. So I stopped, going to, like outside resources to get their input on what they thought I should or shouldn't do. And then I really got into having a much better prayer life with God. Like you can pray and be like, thank you, God, or pray for my family, keep it very generic. Like, no, I really changed my mindset where it's like, I really prayed like God was my best friend. Like, so instead of me calling whoever I would call, I would talk to him about it instead. And I did get like clarity and confirmation through those prayers. So that was another thing. And it was getting into a lot of reading. Actually, this is the book I'm reading right now. So getting into a lot of reading. So this one I'm reading right now, it's called How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LaPera, and it's recognize your patterns, heal from your past, and create yourself. And it's just, I've been on this journey of like, I just want to be the best version of myself, because I knew the way I was living, the way I was thinking, and the way I was operating in 2021. And even before that, I'm like, that is not the best version of me. And then you just get tired of your shit. And until you hit that point, you're like, you have to hit that point, and then you have to actually to be better. So it's like, those were some of the things I did. And then I told myself going into 2022 that I'm not going to force or fight for anything. So like, if something happens, I'm just gonna let it do what it's supposed to do. And I'm not going to go against it, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, no matter how I feel about it. Like, so that was my thing going into 2022. And that helped me a lot also. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. You're an amazing person. My 2022 resolution has been, I do so much writing for other people that I'm going to start writing for myself.
With your journal.
With my journal. So
Yeah.
I have decided to take my Jen DeLeon notebook.
Yep.
And instead of making notes about, to-do lists and whatever, I am going to actually jot down thoughts.
Love that.
And things to activate, or things that I have activated. And I'm going to keep this because it's very special. She wrote me this cool note. You know what I mean? How do you thank me for doing an interview when you're the personality that is so amazing? But it was really touching. I'm not going to read it because she wrote it for me. She didn't write it for y'all. But just know I got a signed and dedicated Jen DeLeon notebook, which I'm going to use as my personal journal. You said that to me. You said it twice about, marking things that are important to you or key to you. And those things need to have a special place and a dedicated place. I have it. It's sitting right here next to my printer with my pen. You were supposed to send me a pen, a marker. I'm glad you didn't send me the marker because that would have been different. So now I'm using a ballpoint pen, really good writing ballpoint pen. She's got her favorite markers. Color code.
These are the pens. They're standard.
Okay.
So I did forget. Sorry.
No,
you should get them. They're at
I can go to Office Depot and Home Depot and write them down.
Get those pens though, I'm telling
you. Maybe I'll color code my thoughts, and then
like personal thoughts, music thoughts, random thoughts.
Yeah.
Thoughts, things that annoy me.
My bright red would be for shitty music I heard today.
Yeah.
But I'm happy overall with the way that 2022 has started. I'm excited for the 20-year anniversary. I'm excited to go back to print. Thank God.
Congratulations on 20 years also.
Thank you very much. Our CEO, our founder, Dr. Jamila Wilkerson, she started in 2002 as a one-page community newsletter. And here we are 20 years later, as one of the badass outlets that are still around. We survived. We survived where others have failed. I mean, places like Yahoo Contributor Network went under. Examiner.com went under.
Oh, they went under,
Yeah, they went under after Yahoo Contributor Network. CNN iReport, it's gone. You know what I mean? Now it's just, if you don't go to CNN, you don't get there's no citizen journalism outlets. So, or outlets where the little people, regular people, get to help determine the narrative.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm proud about with Hype. We don't do gossip. We don't do beef. None of that. We never see a gossip piece. If they post a gossip piece on the site, I delete it. And I ban that writer. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that shit.
Don't do that shit. I will delete your profile and everything that you've ever written will disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really proud of that. And it's taken a lot to stick with it. But I think you've proven in your realm, and I'm proving in my realm, that anything that you really want to do and you put the effort into and you believe and have the self-determination, that it'll happen. You can make it happen. People say it and manifest it. I say do it and manifest it. You have to practice what it is that you're trying to do in the end. So the little tasks in the beginning prepare you and polish you for what it is that dream that you're going to get to fulfill. Yeah. So it's really great. So what else would you like to cover?
I think those are the main things. I feel like my brain is so just processing all that. I think I've told you everything from the last time we talked, or like what's been going on.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a natural way to end the conversation, the recorded conversation.
I think the last thing I said is a perfect ending, because it's like, yeah, that's what I would want to end on. It's like, I think that's a very important message. I'm definitely going to clip that for myself, because that was, I didn't know you were going to ask me that. And that really, I'm like, that's really what, you know, what I did. And like you said, believe, like that was my biggest thing. So.
My friend, Jen DeLeon, she is an amazing human being. Everything about her story has been amazing. You got to check her out. Her new adventure is as the face of a show that brought to you by Warner and Twitch. Everything she's wanted is coming to fruition. Getting paid to be the face of a brand, 2 brands actually, that have come together collectively, 2 powerful brands. That's a very special place to be. And I really am proud for you. I'm very happy for you. And I wish you nothing but continued success, you know?
Thank you so much. I wish the same for you as well.
All right, cool. Night Magazine Live Sessions, Jen DeLeon.
Thank you.
All right.